Roxanne was thrown by the non-biological parentage reveal, a fact Henry conveniently skipped. Henry defensively listed his financial contributions. Roxanne reinforced the narrative of parental sacrifice. Melissa exposed their cruelty in preventing my schooling. Wendy's excuse of medical bills quickly turned into a demand for reimbursement, hinting at inherited shares. Insisting on itemizing even meager meals, I revealed their detailed bank records on her phone, shocking Henry and Wendy into silence. Will social media uncover the full truth? Can Nora make Henry pay for the past? How will this exposure affect her children and her relationship with Justin? How do you have our bank records? Henry stammered. Wendy was equally speechless. You must be joking. There's no way you could possibly have our bank records. I ignored their sputtering denials and turned to Aunt Melissa. Aunt Melissa, there should be some pages coming out of the printer inside. Could you please ask someone to retrieve them? Melissa blinked, a flicker of surprise in her eyes. I hadn't even been near a printer. Yet, without question, she nodded and headed upstairs with the maid. Within a minute, they returned, Melissa carrying a thick stack of papers. I took a few sheets from the top and passed them to Roxanne, my expression cool and detached. These are the details of Henry's income. Roxanne, clearly taken aback by my efficiency, still accepted the documents. As promised, the papers detailed Henry Smith's income over the past several years. The regularity of the deposits was almost comical. Every month, a substantial sum, roughly $5 million annually, was transferred into one specific bank account from Idealian Pharmaceuticals. This had been happening, without fail, for 25 years. More importantly, the records indicated that this was the only consistent source of income for all bank cards associated with Henry and Wendy. Roxanne's eyes widened as she scanned the figures. What does this mean? She asked, her voice a mixture of shock and dawning comprehension. I tilted my head, my tone matter-of-fact. Idealian Pharmaceuticals is my mother's company. She owned it long before she ever met Henry. Henry's face flushed crimson. It became our joint property after we got married, he retorted, his voice laced with desperate indignation. Roxanne, a seasoned reporter, recovered quickly. With a thoughtful nod, she said, In other words, your entire family's income has been derived from the company your mother established? I see. Well, what positions do the two of you hold within the company? Given the substantial and consistent income, Roxanne naturally assumed that Henry and Wendy must hold significant roles within Idealian Pharmaceuticals. But their expressions shifted the moment the question left her lips. A wave of embarrassment washed over their faces, their earlier bravado completely dissolving. A small, knowing smile touched my lips. Oh, them, I said, my voice laced with a hint of amusement. They don't actually do anything at the company. My mother, being the astute businesswoman she was, arranged for a professional management team to handle all the company's affairs. Roxanne flipped through the pages, her astonishment growing with each passing moment. I turned my gaze directly to Henry and Wendy, my eyes narrowed. You two claim that you worked tirelessly to provide for me, right? May I ask how much, if anything, the two of you actually earned yourselves during all those years? My words hit their mark. Henry's face flushed a deep, angry red. Wendy hemmed and hawed, her carefully constructed narrative crumbling under the weight of the truth. She couldn't utter a single coherent word. Henry, however, his anger overriding his embarrassment, blustered, I told you those dividends were our joint property after your mother and I got married. That makes them mine. I smiled, a slow, deliberate curve of my lips. If I recall correctly, my mother left the entirety of Idealian Pharmaceuticals to me. Before I came of age, the company was placed under the management of a professional trustee, and the dividends were entrusted to my guardian, in other words, you. But now, the company is mine. This had all been meticulously documented, legally binding. The manager had shown me the prenuptial agreement years ago. Even though I still looked a bit disheveled, the remnants of sleep clinging to my movements, my argument was irrefutable, grounded in cold, hard facts. I looked directly at Roxanne, my gaze unwavering. As I'm sure you can see, their claim of working hard to provide for me is completely invalid. Henry's jaw clenched, his face a mask of impotent rage. Wendy straightened her neck stiffly. We raised you. We poured all that money into you. The money doesn't even matter. What truly matters is a parent's love. We gave you a home. I scoffed, the sound sharp and dismissive. A home? I was shocked. Home? Really? You call torturing a kid and taking away her childhood home? How many more lies will Henry and Wendy spit? When will this family drama finally end? And most importantly, will I be able to keep my children away from this?
Hi, Nora here. If you are wondering what happens next, then download the Pocket FM app and listen to the exciting episodes of Saving Nora Now with the link in the description.